Namaskar, greetings, and gratitude. I welcome you all to another inspirational Star Talks episode number 95. And today, on the hot seat with me is Miss Monika Choudhary. Hello, Monika, how are you?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Namaskar. Namaskar to all. I'm doing absolutely fine. How about you?
Great. I am doing fine as well. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the Star Talks.
It's a pleasure.
Miss Monika Choudhary is a dynamic and versatile professional with a diverse portfolio spanning media, education, and social work. With a rich background in anchoring, Ms. Choudhary has honed exceptional communication skills, captivating audiences with articulate and engaging presentations at live events. That's so good. As an
Beautiful.
educator, she is dedicated to shaping minds and fostering learning environments that encourage critical thinking and personal growth. In the realm of social work, she is passionate about making a tangible difference in the community, advocating for social justice, and supporting women and the underprivileged. That's great. That is so great,
Thank you so
Monica.
much for that beautiful introduction. And I don't know if you noticed, but whenever somebody says, calls me an educator, it brings a wider smile on my face because that's how I would like myself to be known as.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So, Monica, I came across this. So, if you could explain your belief that connection comes before correction and learning cannot flourish where fear resides.
That's a lovely question. I think I live by this maxim. This is a philosophy where I feel that you can't see, of course, as a teacher, you have the authority in a classroom. But then with authority, comes a lot of responsibility, and you have to have that humility in you. You have to lead by example in the class, and times have changed, and you cannot just have a stick in your hand and you can dictate people to follow as you wish them to. So a child learns the best when the heart feels safe. So creating that safe environment for a child is imperative. I mean, it's a non-negotiable for me. You can't be a dictator inside a classroom, right? And fear may produce that silence that a teacher desires while she's delivering a lecture, but it would never produce wisdom. It would never. So, you have to establish that connection with the children if you want them to do as, whatever you wish them to do. Right. So that is really very important. So for me, connection is a non-negotiable. Correction before connection is like, watering a plant without roots. So you keep pouring in water, but there is nothing that's going to happen, and ultimately the plant will rot. So that is something that's really important. And when a student feels seen, heard, and valued, is when even discipline turns into a gentle guidance for them, and they blossom naturally. So that extra effort, it need not be put there, because then everything will become an organic process.
Beautiful, very beautiful thoughts. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So, Monica, we would like to know about your journey from a teacher to a leader.
Okay. So leader wala part, I still have a lot to do, and miles to go before I sleep. But yes, this journey has been deeply personal. My mother was a teacher, and as a child, I still do, I always look up to her. When she used to go back, I would always see her as this excited individual, ready to take on the world, ready to meet the children. There were days, of course, when she would come back home, little drained out, and but that was only because of either the management or a hectic day. But never, I have never heard her say anything negative about the children. And that was my takeaway. And that, I think, she has, till date, she has been my inspiration. And even as a school girl, she impacted my life so much that even as a school girl, I would help my classmates with their home assignments, or if there was a concept which they couldn't understand well, because there were children who were first generation learners, right? And English was not a medium of communication at their places. So I would help them understand, comprehend, difficult chapters, topics, and I would also counsel them during
Okay.
those mini heartbreaks that we have, while we are still in school and ignoring emotions. So somewhere I knew that I would do good with adolescents. I was
Okay.
pretty sure that I would do justice if I step into this profession. And at just 18, I stepped into my first formal job where I became a teacher
Okay.
to, in an ICSE school where I was taking grades 11 and 12 teaching English. And the students were barely a year younger to me.
Okay.
So that was a really fun time. And then of course the journey began, and I did my BA and all of that stuff. And then at 32 I became a headmistress, again with a very reputed organization. So yes, the journey has been topsy turvy, very exciting. So yes.
Wonderful. So beautiful. Great. You are a certified SEL master trainer by UNESCO MGIEP. Tell us
Right.
about it. How did this happen?
So this again happened because, and I owe this to my organization. So
Okay.
they believe in enhancing the knowledge, the skill set of their staff members, be it a
Okay.
fourth grade staff or a teacher or an HM. So this happened about 2 years ago when we were introduced to this course, this certification, and this was more than a course; it was a mirror, right?
Okay.
And the training under UNESCO taught me that emotions are never interruptions, they are instructions, right? And if you follow your emotions, you'll always be on the right track. So social and emotional learning showed me how empathy, mindfulness, resilience can reshape a classroom. And the certificate was indeed a milestone because it changed my perspective. So I've always been very empathetic with the children, have given them listening ears, a shoulder to cry and a warm hug always. But then having this, undergoing this course, revamped my perspective. And now when I enter a class, I first check the mood of the class, because there are days when I enter a class with a plan that okay, these are the things that I have to do. But then there are faces which are dull, dim, and you're like, why? I mean, I have a beautiful smile on my face. Why aren't you smiling? Why am I not able to, why our vibes are not matching? So this is when, this course actually made me reflect on my practices. And now I check the mood meter of the class and, then go ahead.
Oh, this is nice. Mood meter. Good. Great. So you are a story weaver too. So you're wearing multiple hats. Please throw some light on it.
Stories have always been my language. I think what, in lengthy pages, long pages of instructions can't do is what a story, a simple story, effective, if it can do effectively. So, the stories have this beautiful thing about bypassing resistance and opening hearts and planting values, instilling values in the children. So it's a beautiful tool. And whether you are in a real classroom or you are on screen, I've seen how a story can accomplish in minutes what hours of instructions cannot. So stories, it lingers, it guides you, and it inspires you. It leaves a an everlasting impact on young minds. And I love weaving stories. I have always, in my organization also, I've been a part of this beautiful program called Young Authors Felt Pen, where we encourage, budding authors to write stories. We call authors, resource people to come and help them, so that, right from the very beginning, they know the integrities of weaving a story, and they can take this up as a profession also. So for now, stories is, it's only about, passing time and, doing, yeah.
Great. Yes. NEP also says teach
Yeah,
through
absolutely.
stories nowadays. Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely right. You call yourself a learning catalyst.
yes, I do.
So, some examples, please.
I think, I'll go back to the for very first statement that I made, that, calling myself an educator is the hat that I wear with pride. So, calling myself a catalyst is, it's something that is embedded in the way I deal with students and in, children in general. So for me, being a catalyst is about sparking a change that lasts beyond classroom experiences. So I remember there was this boy once labeled as a notorious, rebellious, person who would never listen to. And people, I had teachers, afraid of entering the class because they were, under this impression that this boy would bully them,
Okay.
right? So they would avoid attending the classes. And then today, years later, I'm still in touch with the boy. We are friends on Insta. And he remembers me not as a strict disciplinarian, but as somebody who showed him the right path and who taught him the value of empathy and respect, which again are non-negotiables. I mean, you can't call yourself educated if you do not possess these basic values. So, and there was one more boy, again from a non-Hindi, non-English family background, and he was struggling. Now, my subject is English. So, and this was a grade 12 boy who was constantly struggling with understanding the chapters, framing. Of course, he couldn't even frame a simple sentence. So we sat together. I explained the entire, all the chapters in Hindi. And then we came up with a solution that I would create rap songs with the keywords and value points from each chapter, and he would learn those rap songs. So I
Okay.
created those rhyming rap songs for him, and then you won't believe he's managed to get a 78 in his boarding.
Wonderful. This is so
So
nice.
that I feel, that's why I love love calling myself a catalyst.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Absolutely correct. Rightfully said. Good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, leaving behind those sparks of confidence, even after your school is over, is something that, we as educators value the most.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Correct. Now, my last question to you. What advice do you have for youngsters aspiring to be educators?
Okay, that's a very tricky one because these days youngsters, they are actually not very keen on taking up this profession. Yeah, we call it the noblest of professions, but then there are big question marks on it. But barring all the negative comments that this profession surrounds itself with, my advice to all those young hearts aspiring to step into this noble profession would be to carry two things with them always. First would be compassion, not only for the people they are dealing with, but also for themselves. Because as educators, often we are too harsh on ourselves, meeting deadlines, making lesson plans. But there are days where we need to go easy, because if we aren't happy, we are definitely not going to create happy spaces for the children, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that compassion is one thing, and knowledge, upskilling yourself is important. You cannot afford to be redundant in this profession, because the children these days, everything is just a click away. They literally do not need teachers in their classrooms to explain them a concept, but they do need teachers, educators in the classroom to help them understand themselves, their actual, who they are. And courage to stand amidst all odds is something that, there are days where I also feel that, oh, I've chosen a wrong profession. There's too much from parents, from my heads, from students. It's a very demanding profession. But then courage is something that, it should be with us always. And yeah, so with compassion and courage and, regularly upskilling ourselves, I think we are going to rock this world. So, and we are going to transform lives for that matter.
Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. It was really wonderful listening to you, Monica. You are here to transform lives, a compassionate person, and you're doing great in your profession, I must say. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for
Thank you
coming to
so
the
much
Startup
for
Story.
hearing me out. Having me on Star Talk. It's truly been a pleasure, and I've loved your questions. I mean, the way you have curated these questions actually made me share whatever I want to share with the youth today. So thanks to you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. I'm honored. Thanks. Thank you, my dear audience, for being with us in this lovely conversation today. I will come back with another personality who has inspired my life. Thank you. Have a nice day. Jai Hind.
Jay.